What's up? How are y'all doing today? This video is going up on Tuesday evening. So right now, opened up the box, got myself an HK45 chambered in 45 ACP, unlike my Glock 45. That was very misleading, and I was thinking that I was going to be shooting 45 ACP, and it turns out I was deceived. So the HK45 is chambered in 45 ACP, which I have a ton of ammo of, and as you guys know, I sold my 1911. So with that being said, I had to get myself something more reliable, something more predictable, and something that was going to be dependable, especially since it's going to be my nightstand firearm. So I had to get something big. I had to get something bold. I had to get something nice, okay? Something that could shoot a little oomph, you know? And I ended up stumbling upon this thing on the internet and did some research before purchasing, and I had been sold. There was just absolutely no reason for me not to take the opportunity. I saw that it was on sale for $769, and after taxes was around $836. So anyway, ended up buying this thing, and it felt great as soon as I took it out of the box at the store. Just went to dry fire it. And a lot of people I noticed were complaining about the trigger and how sloppy it is, and which I kind of understand, like it's a bit spongy. But I shot a PX4 Storm, and that trigger is far worse than this. Now, am I saying that this is justifying, the slop? No, absolutely not. I think there could be improvements, but I do not mind it. In fact, I don't think I would ever trade out the trigger mechanism or anything like that. I would just try to adapt to the situation at hand. So let's go ahead and get into some other characteristics about it. So as you can see, it's got a Picatinny rail. It's got a very beautiful finish. It's got serrations on the front as well as the back, so that way you can go ahead and rack the slide from the front, or you can rack the slide from the back. So that is also really cool. This is the hammer fire. As we all know, there is a striker fire variant of this, but this one is the V1, and this one was the first iteration of the HK45. That being said, it was originally striker fire. It's also got ambidextrous slide release, so if you're left-handed, you could hit it with your thumb on this side. If you're right-handed, you could hit it with your thumb on this side. I could say the same thing for the paddles for the mag release. No magazine in there. It's clear. And you can either use your finger to slide that thing out, or use your thumb. Up to you what you want to do. For me, I think it's best that I just go ahead and use my index finger. A lot easier. And I won't have to move my hand as much when it comes to the grip. So I think that's pretty cool. So yeah, let's go ahead and take this apart and go ahead and talk about the internals. So in order to take this apart, there is a groove on the slide right here. You line that up with the slide release right here, and you'll be able to take the slide release out, thus allowing you to take the slide off the frame. We're talking about a reinforced polymer, as like from what I read. So this thing is able to take a decent beating. Also, something that I really like is the grip texture on here. I like the fact that it's on the sides as well as the front and back of the grip. That's actually really cool. The only thing that I could say that I really don't like about this is it's got a bit of a sloppy trigger, but when comparing this to a Beretta PX4 Storm or even a 9mm, the M9, I don't think it's that much of a problem, especially since, the M9 was my issued pistol back when I was an MP, And the PX4 Storm was a pistol that I fell in love with a while ago that my dad has currently. But to compare it to that, I will say that this is better. As far as the single action, it's probably on par with my Glock 45, which is right here. Also, interestingly enough, if you look at the Glock 45, which is chambered in 9mm, and you look at the HK45, which is chambered in 45 ACP, you'll also see that the grip on the HK45 is thin at the top, then it fattens out, and then it'll thin out again, which I think is actually pretty cool. Whereas the Glock, it's fat all throughout. Now, you got yourself safety here. Now if you push it down all the way, you'll see that the hammer actually goes forward, and that is because it's actually a decocker as well. If you pull it up, it's on safe. If you push it down and it's parallel to the rest of the frame, then you know you're on fire. So with that being said, let's get into taking this thing apart, which is fairly simple. Pull out the slide release, let go of the slide, push it forward, and now we can go ahead and look into the guts. Now, I think as far as I can see and tell from the entirety of this, me taking this apart and looking at it, the majority of the stuff on the frame itself is polymer. I'm talking a huge amount of stuff is polymer. In fact, you barely see any metal on the frame itself besides the hammer, the trigger mechanism, and possibly a spring right here. But other than that, the rest of it is polymer, whereas this is a whole different ball game. So as you can see here, you have a spring that also has a buffer on it, and that buffer is supposed to mitigate recoil by 30%. That is a claim that HK has made, in which, from what I hear, actually is kind of true. Many people are saying that this firearm shoots like a 9mm, even though it's chambered in 45. So I think that's a pretty bold claim. I don't know for sure. With my experience, 45 ACP has a pretty decent bit of kick, especially with 230 grain. So let's go ahead and take the barrel out. If we take the barrel out, it is 4.46 inches, and as you can see right here, we also have ourselves an O-ring. That O-ring is supposed to help seat the barrel onto the slide better, so that way you have less destabilization. Now, that is just a claim. I don't know how true that is, but from what I can tell, a lot of people are shooting this firearm in particular very accurately, and even making claims of 200,000 rounds. HK specifically has been taking one HK45 and shot 200,000 rounds through it without replacing any parts whatsoever, and that is the beauty of this firearm. I think is going to make this thing outshine anything else. It is the fact that it is, in fact, reliable. And reliable to the point where you can do pretty much everything. You can go to the range, you can have this on your bedside, and know that this finish is going to be dependable tomorrow, the day after, and it's probably going to outlast you. It's kind of like a Toyota, So, with that being said, the reason why this thing is able to last so well, last so long, is also due to the fact that it is hammer forged. So with that being said, there's a lot less inconsistencies within the metal itself, and that is why you are able to see this barrel last so long. Let's go ahead and put this back together. All right, so we got that. There is a little lip right here, and that is going to connect onto the barrel right here. Make sure you line it up properly and have it seated properly. You're gonna need to put a little bit of effort into putting it together. Just to put pressure on the spring, so that way you can lock it up. And then after that, you just put it back together. All right, and then you just do the reverse. Make sure you put the slide release back on. All right, now it's back on. Do a functions check, press the trigger. All right, pull the slide back, reset, pull the trigger, and now we put it on safe. It does not want to shoot. Put it on single action and put it on safe. Still does not want to shoot. So that's good. Now we know it works. Also, the decocker works. So with that being said, that is the showcase for the HK45. This is going to be the bigger sister of my Glock 45. And ultimately, this is going to be my bedside pistol. I'm going to go ahead and put a flashlight on the Picatinny rail. And that will allow me to use this, especially during the night. So with that being said, guys, here's a clip of me shooting it, my little first impressions really, and how it feels, and as well as a clip of my grandmother shooting as well. And hope you guys enjoy. About to shoot the first mag. That feels good. Yep. So I'm just making this video for YouTube. So how'd you like the?
I love it.
All right, which one do you like better?
The last one.
The bigger one?
The 45.
Okay, so the HK45, you heard it, folks. I guess you can say that gun is Granny nominated.
I wonder how, I wonder why. Yesterday you told me about the blue, blue sky and all that I can see.
All right, so that was us shooting the HK45 and comparing it to the Glock 45. And I mean, as you heard, she loves the HK45 a lot better. Let that sit. So that's good. That means I picked a good one, because if she likes it and it didn't jam at all, which was pretty cool. Unlike, the 1911, this one did not jam whatsoever. It was absolutely phenomenal. It went through 100 rounds, no issues whatsoever. So I know I didn't pick up a dud. With that being said, I am looking forward to the future and whatever the future holds with this firearm. I possibly will be making some modifications to it, so that way it will actually help mitigate the recoil some more. And ultimately, I'm ready to have fun with this thing, because this thing, absolute baby. She is my 1911 replacement, and she will stay that way. I don't think I'm going to go back to the 1911 if I'm going to be completely frank with you. Now, granted, I do agree the 1911 is great. It's just if you are looking for a really good one, like very well built, then you are looking to pay a pretty penny, and I do not want to deal with that. So, let's go German. German ingenuity is absolutely phenomenal. Ever since World War II till now, they've been making really good machinery and firearms and everything and such. So I think this is the right choice. And we'll keep it that way. So, anyway, guys, I'm going to get to cleaning this. You guys have a good one.